Psalm 1. Blessed is a man who walks not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor stands in the path of sinners, nor sits in the seat of the scornful. But his delight is in the law of the Lord, and in his law this person meditates on it day and night. He shall be a tree planted by the rivers of water that brings forth its fruit in its seasons, whose leaf also shall not wither, and whatever he does shall prosper. God has a lot to say when he looks down from heaven and he sees certain people. He doesn't just see people, he sees the person on the inside. That's where God is looking. With the body is literally the covering, the tent, but he looks inside and he sees the person, who the person really is. When a person chooses not to go in the path of sinners, okay, is that now God has saved every one of us. God has saved people who are sinners, okay? Everyone is a sinner. It's in the nature. But to sin less means that you don't want to have God's disapproval. Now, he approved you through Jesus Christ and what he did on the cross. But the working of God working out his righteousness in you has a whole lot to do with your response to him. And he doesn't come along in some kind of esoteric manner. He makes himself more plainly and more clearly as you become more transparent to him. The interesting thing about the person who's always delighting in God, and delighting means that they find it more easier and they find it, hey, it's a pleasure to want to be pleasing to God. It brings forth the fruit in its season. Now, the Bible says that a righteous person is that many of the afflictions of the righteous. And I really believe that the way it is because this realm that we live in, the majority is not for God. That's why Jesus said it is a few. Many are called, few are chosen. Now, the benefits about want to walk with God, want to know God, want to be pleasing to him in any season that you're going through is that you're not going to give up on God. God never will give up on you because he's already established why he won't give up on you based upon what his son has already done. So it's settled. You can unhitch yourself from the connection with the living God. Okay. But the thing is that when he sees the person in the tent, he sees the person who really will come back or wants him more than anything else. As someone would say, hey, nothing matters in this life. If I lose God, I've lost everything. Now, one of the amazing benefits of knowing God and want to walk with him, the Bible says that whatever he does shall prosper. There is a certain level of excellence, a certain level of it always will, like knowledge. Knowledge, for instance, a person may not know what to be doing in their work or whatever, but that extra knowing comes to that person, that extra integrity, character that carries out that people notice from afar, and they said, this person's not just doing their work, they're doing it with excellence. And that's why it prospers. Now, it doesn't mean that, them who are outside of God are going to look over and say, oh, I want to see this guy do well. You know, something I've discovered in workplaces, and I work in quite a few different, I used to anyway, office environments. And something I noticed is that on their mouse pads, this is back in the 19 year 2000 going on, and I trust it's the same even today, is that companies have their mottos, and their mottos always go around the avenue of striving for excellence, and we are an honest business and we're dependable. They use a lot of these buzzwords, but they really don't back it up. Only the companies that back it up have longevity, right? In general, the company culture does not give a whole lot of permission to what is written down, because it is a money making world. And if they can cut corners, cut throat, or whatever they have to, they keep the benefits of the company going by simply selling what the people want at all cost, which means they give up their soul. They will sell their soul for whatever it cost. Not so with the righteous. And the thing is, the righteous can always go somewhere. Sometimes it takes a while, but they will always bounce back, because whatever they do shall. And what it really means, it will eventually. If you're having a time in your life and you know the record, you've lived with yourself, and the record is there that you've lived and tried to live uprightly. You may not have gotten it right all the time, but you know what common decency is. You know what it's like to be honest. You know what it's like to not try to harm anybody or manipulate anyone or exploit anybody. God is noting that person inside their body. The thing is about the righteous people, they don't have a whole lot to prove, because God has already proved them. There is so much proof living inside of them that, given the time, the situation, the right circumstance, they will always shine. Whatever they do shall prosper, and in due season they give forth that fruit. Okay, they bring forth fruit in whatever season, and their leaf, their outer wears, never withers. There's an old adage that people have about growing old gracefully. And I've seen this, in my older age, but I've seen this throughout the years, that people who are older, I've noticed their face and their mannerisms eventually catches up to them, whoever they are. They may have hit it very well, and some people going to get plastic surgery, but you can't hide what is so plainly hidden in plain sight. You can't hide it. It will eventually show. It will eventually show through the makeup, everything else, what a nasty, evil, hard-hearted, cold person is, or what a gentle, genteel, and a soft person is. It will show. It shows in the smile. It shows in the eyes. It shows in the way they move their head. Some people move their head like a snake when they're talking to you, and you could see it. And you know this person is no good. This person is definitely underhanded. Not so with the righteous. The righteous are always having keeping a short account with the living God. They confess. The Bible says this is the difference between the wicked and the righteous. The righteous hopes in God's mercies. The wicked could care less, because they don't think they need God's mercies. They're fine. They make so many excuses for their conscience and what they do. And the things I discover about them, the noise, the print that they leave wherever they are, okay, is either that of a very noisome, confusing, and a very upsetting experience, or compared to the righteous, who live they give off a very pleasable and a peaceable environment, no matter where they go. You can always know. And some people come along to say, well, they're empaths. Well, some people are born with that. But when you turn to God, you not only become an empath, you become supercharged by God, who is the highest version of what an empath is. God is so touchingly sensitive that he cues into the sensitivities of a broken heart very easily. And don't think when people say, why does God permit animals and stuff like that to suffer? He permits it because he's given the earth to the sons of men. But it is not without a note kept by him of where he will bring accountability. And when animals suffer and they die like they do, okay, their soul keeps on going and God brings them back to himself. He comforts them. He made animals and he said, it is good. It was good. A word good is means like you can't get beyond even perfect. It was so good. It was pleasing to him. So don't let anyone ever try to fool you and tell you that being righteous doesn't have its benefits. It may not always happen in your wallet, but you will be supremely wealthy on the inside. And I guarantee it is only a matter of time that your value, which is money, money has its own value. That value will, when it joins to a person of value, you got a perfect symmetrical equation. It is like perfect, a perfect kiss. So I just want to leave you with that as an inspiration that blessed is a man who walks not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor stand in the paths of sinners, because they're busy standing in God's path, nor do they sit in the seat of the scornful. They don't have time to be knurling up their face and scorning. They're busy becoming genteel, soft, beautiful, of excellence. Have a good day and do like and subscribe.